You're watching Plus TV Africa, and this is Tea Time. Hello and welcome to the program. If you've always watched the program, then you'll know this is your one-stop shop for all things entertainment, all things showbiz, and all things paparazzi. And if you're just joining us for the first time, all I can say is that you're in for a treat. I'm Tokumbo Taiwo. I'm here with the diplomatic and tactful Elsie Godwin and the outspoken and opinionated Ife Oshunkeye. Hello, people.
What's up?
Hi.
Okay, good weekend?
Yes, good weekend.
Okay, so anything new?
Let's see, SoundCity MVP Awards.
Awards. Yeah. And the Golden Globes as well. Did you guys see?
Yeah, but I was following the SoundCity Awards more, so yeah.
Okay. And
Speaking of the SoundCity Award, I like the fact that Burna Boy's mother, when she took the award, she said, thank you to Kanye West for making a mistake by naming your album Ye. So that was very funny, and I think, yeah.
But that's the truth some of Burna Boy's fans refused to accept for a long time. They argue, no, without Kanye West doing that. I mean, it was interesting to come from her. I'm telling you, some of his fans were saying, no, the song will still be big without that.
They are not his fans.
So,
they are people that don't know him.
Well, it's nice that it's coming from his mom. And I think that's very good from his camp. Seeing the mom and doing all she did on stage, I think it downs the whole tension from the whole Coachella thing, calling off fools and all that. So kudos to them. That's really nice.
And she even said at the point, she said, and say you did crazy, you know.
Expect more madness.
Expect more madness. That's good, man.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on to today's stories, we've got scoop on Peruzzi, Toke Makinwa, Britney Spears, and Tunde Kelani. All that with all of the analysis right here, right now. And we're starting with media personality Toke Makinwa, who is currently unhappy with fathers who neglect their role in a family. Yes, drum roll.
No, you should be the one starting because you've been saying so many things these days.
No, I think Ife is going to talk to us about Peruzzi. So let's start with you, Toke Makinwa.
Wow. Toke Makinwa. Of course, I agree with what she's saying, but I don't think she was talking about family per se. I think she was talking about deadbeat dads. I hope I'm reading the same thing that you read. I think it was the same one where he spoke about, where she spoke about her friend that was pregnant, right?
The same thing, right?
No, I don't think she was very specific about the family. I think she was trying to talk about men that bring children to this world and not...
That's what she's saying, exactly.
I'm trying to say you don't have to be a family to take up your responsibility.
That's what she was saying.
If you are trying to say...
just said in a family, deadbeat guys...
That's what I'm saying. Oh, okay. I'm saying the headline and what she's trying to say. She's not saying you have to marry this person. Exactly. She's just saying...
Take up your responsibility.
Even if you don't have money, at least there are things you can still do to support. Not, I mean, from the story she shared, the man beat up the woman for
Bolaji.
not... who is the Bolaji?
The man.
Okay, we don't know the identity of this Bolaji, but it's a Bolaji who beat up the woman for not accepting to, how do I put this in the best way now?
For not accepting to take up his role as a father and being
No. The Bolaji beats the baby mama up for not...
for refusing to...
Oh, can I say that? Yeah, for refusing to, you know. So, I mean, that's really bad. And I get where she's coming from.
But you know, when I read that part, I was like, there's two sides to the stories. And I've heard stories where girls actually come out to say, okay, because I refuse. Meanwhile, they're the ones that accepted. So regardless of what's happening, no, you know, they said yes. Meanwhile, they're saying they said no at the time that it happened. So I'm saying that, okay, there should be two sides to the story. Do you understand where I'm going?
I understand that there should be two sides to the story, but I don't get the angle you're coming from.
No, what I'm saying is that there should be two sides. I'm saying we don't know the truth yet until the guy, the so-called Bolaji, actually comes to say something regarding that particular incident. Because you know, Toke Makinwa was saying, she said, that's the lady in question, that she said that because the guy refused to sleep, or because she refused to sleep with the guy, that he beat her up. I am saying that maybe that's not the reason. That's not the real reason. Because
for the beating.
For the beating.
So what exactly should be the reason?
I don't know. That's
the justified reason.
Until we
I'm asking you. Since we are waiting for the other story on the other side, what should be the justified reason for a man to beat a woman or for anybody to beat anybody?
I'm just saying there are two sides, and until we know with the other side, let's not condemn him yet. Ife, your take.
Well, he has the fact that he rose his hand to beat a woman, or he raised his hand to beat a woman, then already lost the battle, in my opinion. Regardless of what she did, regardless of what she said, he already lost the battle, because you're not supposed to touch a woman regardless of what. So, yeah, I'm always on your side when you say, let's wait for the other side of the story. But in this case, I'm not going to wait for the other side of the story, because he has already lost the battle. But in my opinion, I think Toke Makinwa saying 24 hours and calling out deadbeat dad, I think that's the type of voice we need this moment.
So you think she's done right by saying giving him 24 hours?
Because, giving him 24 hours.
You see, the reason why I asked,
because she said she's getting voice to the voiceless.
Yes, hold on. It's because the reason why I ask is that some may think that, she should not have to take matters into her own hands.
She's not taking it into her own hands. She said she has already called the police. She has informed the police, and she's giving him 24 hours to buy back the phone.
That's what I'm saying.
If he doesn't do all those, then she is going to involve the police. She did not say, I'm going to come and fight you.
No. What I'm saying is that her critics are saying that it's not her role to actually do that. So what do you say to them?
If she's the one taking care of
the woman, so it's a duty.
Taking care of the child.
She doesn't even have to be taking care. If it is someone close to you, if it's your neighbor, you need to care for those that do not have a voice.
But the thing is, you don't have a responsibility over that person. That person that we're talking about is a full-grown adult person.
That person gave you the right to
No, they didn't give any right, because there's no paper. We don't know if there's any paper or document to that effect.
So are you saying she shouldn't have done this?
So are you saying we shouldn't speak for others?
It's fair and good, but what I'm saying is that if there's no legal tender to say that you're the guardian,
so she's supposed to be the guardian of an adult
because
before she can.
That's what I'm saying.
What you're saying is not adding up. It doesn't make any sense, because if you're saying no,
you're not each person to their own.
It's not making any sense.
No, she's not the police. She's not a social media.
That is why she has informed the police, and she's giving this guy a stern warning that you smashed her phone, replaced the phone.
Yes.
And I'm not going to disclose your identity. Take up your responsibility as a father.
Yeah.
If not, I'm going to involve the police, which she has already informed already. So she's not taking matters into...
Because one, she's not even related to this lady in question.
Wow.
1, 2.
So because she's not related, now if I'm going past wherever you are and something is going on,
you're not going because you say,
I have the phone to call the police. I'll say, because I'm not related to Tokumbo. It's not my business.
No, that is a different matter altogether.
How is it a different matter?
She's giving him an ultimatum, and then she's also taking
because he has done something wrong.
Yes.
She did nice because she came out to give him an ultimatum. What if she just went straight and the next thing he's saying is somebody coming to arrest him? So what are you going to say about that?
What I'm saying is that all that she has taken... Look, don't get me wrong. I appreciate and I commend her for doing what she has done. But at the end of the day, thank you.
It is her business. Thank you, Toke. God bless you. And I mean, that is going to point me to where you keep pressuring these people. It's time to get married. It's time to get married. And the fact, I mean, she mentioned that the amount of children she has to take care of, even as a single person, is really a lot on her, and you look at them and you feel, because you're not married, you probably do not have responsibility. And this is a lesson for you to know they have a whole lot of responsibility behind them, because you just have to do something. You cannot sit on the fence and say, I'm not interested, except you have that mind and feel, I really want to focus on myself. But when God has blessed you to a point, you must take up some responsibility.
And even if you want to look at it from Tokumbo's angle, where he's saying that, okay, there are two sides to the story. Now, according to Toke, this guy neglected the woman all through her pregnancy. And then he came back all of it. Now, why are you coming back? Are you coming back to take responsibility? Now, you're not even coming back to take responsibility.
No, you came back to sleep with her.
Yes, and then you now want to beat her on it. So, Look, if I don't know this woman, now, talk less of Toke that has a personal relationship. If I don't know this woman from Adam, and I hear that story, I will call the police myself.
Oh, come on.
And I
doubt very much if you would do something like that. In fact, you would not even care. You would advise her probably that she should call the police, but you wouldn't take responsibility of calling the police yourself. In fact, you know that, and that's why you've gone quiet all of a sudden.
I don't, because there's no point trying to prove myself to you. Is there any point?
You don't have to prove yourself to me, but I know that you would not call the police.
Okay, fine. I will not call the police. I'll probably call the soldier. I'll call the army.
Okay, so final thoughts on this, Elsie, before we move on.
Kudos to Toke. She's doing good, and I hope the state is true. I also saw a comment from Esther Ijewere. I don't know if you know her. She's one of the strongest voice we have against rape and domestic violence. And she was saying one of the problems we might have is after doing this, the said lady now going back to the same man and then making it look like everything that Toke has done is a waste of time. So hopefully that this woman understands her worth.
Even if she goes back,
right.
you played your role as a human being. That is all that counts.
And then, but I understand where this woman is coming from, because at the end of the day, if they go back, you know, they'll be laughing at Toke Makinwa at the end of the day. And don't forget, you know, they're still going to
let
have
them
their
laugh,
talk.
but you know deep inside, it doesn't change. Yeah, do you understand? Like you played your part.
Okay, time for a break, but stay tuned to find out the latest update on a couple more stories right after this quick break. It's where the big stories live. This is Plus TV Africa.
When I did it, I was full on, hands-on on the whole project.
So how did you deal with it? All of that negativity?
I got depressed, obviously. Duh. Haven't you heard?
I've got 2 of the hottest topics currently trending on social media. If you've seen the word Senate trending on Twitter, that's because the Nigerian police force has gone Trump style.
I haven't shared this with anyone, but I reckon I get about like 100 people asking for help a day. That's a fact. I can prove that.
Welcome back. You're watching Tea Time, our entertainment news program, bringing you the biggest showbiz stories this morning. Up next is this headline on Peruzzi. Did he just shade Teni on winning Best New Artist at the SoundCity MVP Awards? So that's the headline, and it's a question. So,
do you think the shade was for Teni?
Come on.
I'm not. I'm asking you.
We're doing this because we said that already. We're doing this. Peruzzi and your people.
Tokumbo is a single question. Do you think that shade was for Teni?
We're going to Ife, straight up. Ife, your people.
All right, I'm glad you're coming to me. So, Tokumbo, do you think that shade was for Teni?
Talk about Peruzzi. You know that you're
Peruzzi is a cool dude. He's put out a lot of work
so was that
in 2018 and even in 2019 is still going strong. But do you think that was a shade for Teni?
That's what I'm asking you now. Is that a shade?
Okay, for me, I had to go back to watch Peruzzi's watch or listen, because he has like a couple of videos.
He just dropped an LP, actually.
Yeah, and I would say he's talented.
Very.
Yeah, he worked hard. And I understand where he's coming from with the whole outburst, but I don't think it was necessary. Maybe if it was well thought out for us to be talking about him now, because trust me, a whole lot of people that didn't know who Peruzzi was now knows Peruzzi. I mean, just like what Burna Boy did with the whole
Some people will still would not even know him.
Yeah, but it's a gradual thing. The whole world is not going to know you just immediately, yeah. So I understand it, but he should understand that most of what he did a whole lot of features. And this is Teni who did more of singles, and you know this is your song. I think if not for this whole stunt, the only song of his that I was very aware of is Amaka.
I'm glad you say that, because...
You know, but right now I went back to listen, and there's this, is it Matter? For Your Matter, and that song is really beautiful. Like he had, no, I love it, you know, and you know he knows how to work with tunes and create chorus that you want to sing to and all that. But there's a difference between hard work, smart work, and I mean your you know. So
now let me explain something to you.
I understand that he feels that he deserves it. I probably feel he deserves it to an extent too, but yeah, Teni worked hard for it.
You know, if
and saying that your bank account is, I mean, that you made more money than Teni, how
those are the kind of statements
that?
Exactly,
are we supposed to tell
that really annoy me.
Bring out her account details
to show for? And I think it's not just.
I mean, and most of.
Okay, you know what else? You asked me a question. I think no, you asked me a question. Let me say
that. No, you refuse to talk.
That's the shade now.
Please, let
I've said it.
That's the shade. Your account balance, I don't know. I mean, if we want to find out, then you have to tell us where you performed, how much you were paid. I mean, you went to most of the events. I didn't go December. I'm sure there was one, I think you mentioned Teni a couple of times that she was at this event, I don't know about Peruzzi, how many events, you know, so if we're going by that, which is how we know most of our artists make money in this part of the world, then I don't know if it's from the 30 billion gang money that Davido is paying him from producing and, you know, doing all that they're speaking of. But I don't know why he brought that part, and I understand, but Peruzzi is a
I think it's not just at Teni, I think he's talking about all other artists as well, because when you bring bank account into, you don't have every other artist's bank account. So how can you say something like that, especially when we are considering, you know, new artists this particular or the last year? But before I even talk some more, let's hear your take.
First of all, there's no shade in this to Teni. There's no shade in this to any new artist.
And we have to go by what you say, Ife. It's your opinion, so make that clear.
Please go ahead.
Thank you.
There's no shade to Teni, there's no shade to any artist. I think Peruzzi is just being as confident as he should be about himself, regardless of whether he wins an award or whether he did not. He felt good about his hard work. He felt good about what he has done for himself in year 2018, and he decided to put it out there.
But you know, this cannot be dissociated from that award.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Now, the reason why you would go back and delete such a tweet is because people will say, you know, say Teni just win award. That could have been part of the contributory factors. Like someone would have been like, man, Peruzzi should have been you, man. I would then go give Teni. You get, and it's like, no, man, it's all good, man. I won several awards this year. DMW has won, but anyhow, but deep inside, you're feeling the pain, and you just write something and you just put it out there, but not necessarily to Teni. Do you understand? And then why I'm going to agree with Peruzzi on a lot of stuff is said about putting in a lot of work is that Peruzzi is the brain behind DMW. Peruzzi is the one.
But this is not an award between DMW and
I'm not waiting. No, I'm not done. It's the one that has written most of Davido's new songs.
But that doesn't make him an artist. We're talking about him as an artist, not him as a songwriter.
And then if you have listened to his new EP or LP, I don't know which one in particular it is, Hard Work, you would know that Peruzzi is definitely a force to reckon with. Now, in comparison to Teni, I'm not going to say Teni hasn't put in a lot of work. I'm not going to say, oh, it should have been Peruzzi, it should have been Teni, because both of them worked really hard this year. That's why I don't see it as a shade. I think Peruzzi was just giving out his own opinion and his own vibe.
Okay. Elsie, what do you say? Shade or no shade?
It wasn't a shade.
Okay. All right. I'm going to defer. So I'm going to say it's a shade as far as I'm concerned. I really hate it when people actually blow their own trumpet. You should wait for your fans or your people to actually blow your own trumpet for you. So that's one of the things I don't like about Peruzzi. And a lot of people have actually criticized Peruzzi, you know, for not even coming out with a song that actually is a national anthem. Teni has done it so many times, especially with her latest track. You know, everywhere you go is on the airwaves. People are playing it. People are singing it. You know, she has done. It's not, at the end of the day, it's not about your creativity. It's not about how many times you feature other people. So that's my view anyway. But off our conversation next is this headline on Britney Spears. Apparently, she's going to be taking a career break to take care of her ailing father. Okay, you know, Britney Spears actually had a bit of a troubled life, especially once she got very famous. She dabbled into drugs. She dabbled into so many boyfriends and a lot of activities. So her life has not been like squeaky clean. So she's had like a turbulent life. It's been going up and down, up and down. But one of the persons that I remember that helped her during the time when she was very low, when she was at a very low point in her life and in her career, was her dad, who said, you know, enough of the drugs, enough of the boyfriends, let her just stay on her own and get, you know, back on track before she moves on with her life. She had toxic relationships as well that affected her lifestyle. So when I saw this headline, I was like, okay, I can remember when her dad helped her. So I think she's just reciprocating what her dad did at the time, and she wants to help her dad now. Because at the end of the day, she wants to cancel a show just because she needs to help him, and I think that's commendable.
That's actually interesting and commendable too, because this is her father, and this is not a deadbeat dad. This is a man that has been in your life for...
Has taken responsibility.
You know, has taken responsibility, has stood by you for a long time. So if this is what she should do, or she feels she wants to do, to at least show that she cares and respects him and loves him that much, then I think it's the best way to go.
Okay.
Yeah. I think this just shows the importance of family, because there's regardless of how you want to put it, whether it was there, whether it wasn't there, there are a lot of kids that would still consider, oh, I need to go on that tour and make the money. Exactly. It's 2019, it's January, I need to get back everything I lost, how I spent during the festive season and all of that. But she's showing you the importance of family, that regardless of whether it was there, whether it wasn't, the fact that she's able to put every other thing she's putting on hold just to focus on her father's health issues, I think that is very commendable. And that is the lesson I think we should all take away from this. Family is everything.
Okay, but like you rightly said, it's not everyone that would have taken that kind of stance, because at the end of the day, money is important, money is key, but for her to take, and then this is not like someone who, because she has a family of her own, so this is not like her immediate direct, family. She can say, oh, okay, I don't have to, it's not necessarily my direct line, so.
It's her direct line, this is her father.
No, I know, but I'm saying, her lineage, her own lineage.
Wow. I don't understand where you're from this morning, because I don't get it. This is her father, oh.
It's not grandfather.
You see, what happens is when a lady leaves her home, well, let's not go there. We need to go on a quick break before I start a whole conspiracy thing. When we come back, we'll have time for just one more story. Keep it where you've got it, right here on Plus TV Africa.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed.
A 500 naira they collect am.
If you no talk, then go beat you.
Now 2,500 they pay.
Welcome back. It's still tea time right here on Plus TV Africa. And we're moving on to our next story, which is on Nollywood filmmaker, popularly known as TK, Tunde Kelani, who says piracy stopped me from releasing a movie in 4 years. So, piracy, we've talked about piracy on this show several times, and it's such a problem in the Nollywood industry. I think not just even in the Nollywood industry, in the music industry as well, but I think he's talking more about his own side of the story. And he says, that if he does a movie that within 24 hours, is it 24 or 48? Sorry, I don't remember. 24 hours, that it will get pirated immediately. And as a result, he hasn't directed or made any film in the last...
Oh, he hasn't released
in the last 4 years. So I don't know. Copyright, I think, is a major issue, and I don't know how we can tackle it as a nation. I don't know, unless perhaps we come up with, I just don't know how we're going to tackle it, because it affects not just Kelani, I think it affects all of the people in the industry.
No, I think the best way to tackle piracy, which he also stated while he was speaking to the news agency he was speaking to, was that the world has gone digital. Look, it's easier for you to pirate DVDs and all of that, but when you have a platform, a distributing platform, or a streaming platform, how can you pirate that without paying some money? So regardless of the piracy, even if you have to pay $2 to get my movie, and then you pirate it after paying that $2. Now imagine every other person that wants to pirate pays that $2. I'm getting something. It's different from
piracy. Doesn't really work like where everybody will have to go onto it. If one person goes and pays their $2, once that one person gets it, they then pirate it and then send it to everyone else or give them.
But that person will be all about his gain. So the next person.
No, not necessarily. Some people do it for their friends, and those friends will do it for their own friends, and those friends will do it for their own friends, and then you see what it penetrates.
Well, first of all, if you are on a streaming service in the first place, you already have a deal, you already have a contract, you already know this is what I'm making, regardless of, okay, I make so amount of sales, this is what I am making. So it is, you are rest assured that you are going to make money.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, they're still also going to lose money, especially when you take into consideration how much they spent in making that movie. If they don't hit that mark, you know, they have lost. And if they don't even make enough.
But would you compare that loss to that of you doing a DVD and then it's all around the Alaba boys and then you're not making? Would you compare that loss to that of a streaming service?
A loss is a loss, regardless. In business, a loss is a loss. So whether you've lost $1, whether you've lost 1 million, a loss is a loss. But Elsie is dying to say one or two things.
No, I'm just watching you to go on it. But even Hollywood is facing piracy. Like theirs is even really huge because there are so many series we get to watch here and we know how we watch them, you know. But Tunde Kelani, if he really wants to put out a movie, I think he will, because this
so you should not use this as an excuse.
I did not take a put-out movie for years because of piracy. I mean, when I was reading it in my head, I started remembering the fact that he resigned from the board that we were talking about. He was talking about the fact that they are not progressive. And before I got to the part where he mentioned what Ife just talked about having other platforms and the digital age, I was thinking, are you the one not being progressive right now before he got there? And that's like him saying, oh, he has now realized. And this is something you should have realized like how many years ago your colleagues are doing it. Even Kunle Afolayan comes out to shout piracy, piracy,
but
piracy. But he's making money.
I was going to say, he has to take his age into consideration.
He's not comparing him and Kunle Afolayan. How many age difference? How
No, there's a big gap.
The big gap is you are in the industry, you are active in the industry, so it is your job to know. So what's him saying piracy is the reason why, he's saying there are works that he just doesn't want to bring them out. So if you've spent money to actually produce a good movie and it's lying on your shelf, so who is losing more? If he really has something to push out, he will push it out. So this whole piracy stuff,
I think maybe that is part of the reason why he was on the board in the first place, and then he wanted to make a difference, and then he noticed that, okay, they couldn't do anything about piracy, so right now he's going to try his hands on other stuff.
Amen.
And so maybe that's part of the reason why he left the board in the first place.
I hear.
I like the way that Elsie, if I was the one saying I hear now, you guys would have attacked me.
No, I attack you. I'm saying I agree with what he's saying, but I'm still saying what I am saying. It's that simple.
That's what I call diplomatic, and that's how I described you when we started the show.
Thank you.
All right, so that's where we're going to draw the curtains on the program this morning. Join us this afternoon for the latest in entertainment headlines. Until then, a big thank you to my co-anchors, Ife and Elsie. I also have to thank the production team, the entire production team that is, as well as our stylist, courtesy of Kudi's Empire. I'm Toke Makinwa saying thanks for watching and buongiorno.